May I come in, sir?
Yes, please come.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
We call you Gaurav.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Gaurav, please sit down.
Thank you, sir.
And Gaurav, introduce yourself very briefly.
So my name is GANGADHAR Patil. I am from Nasik, Maharashtra. I completed my schooling from Nasik Silver Oak School. Then after I went to pursue bachelor's in computer engineering from 𝐒𝐢𝐳𝐷 Institute, Pune. Post that I worked in TIPCO Softwares as a middleware developer for 2.3 years. Also at the same time I pursued my master's in public administration from Indira Gandhi National Open University. And since then I'm completely focused upon UPSC preparations.
All right. You said 2.3 years, right?
Yes, sir.
Oh my God. How do you put point there? 2.3?
So the 3 months was for training actually.
Because I thought in the calendar the decimal doesn't work.
Yes, sir.
Isn't
I'm
it?
sorry, sir.
You were born there. Otherwise, you are from Maharashtra. Which place?
Nasik.
Nasik is very popular for some religious thing.
Yes, sir. So Nasik is popular for multiple occasions. First is the Kumbh Mela that usually takes place after 12 years. Next is the Trambakeshwar, which is one of the 12 Jyotirling. And third is for the Panchvati, that is famous for a temple for Ram Sita, who used to live there during their 12 years Vanvas. So it has a lot of religious significance.
Tell me, why do you want to join civil services? What attracts you?
So I always wanted to be part of the film, as both of my parents were in the teaching field. It was always an interest to become the part of administration. UPSC provides an opportunity at very young age to be within the system as an administrator. The diversity as a career option, it has lot of diversity to working, being from the headquarters to on field. So there are various departments with which you can work with. So that is something I was very much inclined to. So I decided to pursue it. But at first I also wanted to ensure that to have some experience about my domain and the industry. So for the very same reason, I decided to work with for the private sector for 2 years. And then I decided, since I was ready, I quit my job.
What was the work you did at TIPCO?
So I was a middleware developer as an integration consultant.
Integration consultant.
Since there are three different architectures based on the front end, middleware and back end. So the role of front end is to create development of websites or the applications, while the back end refers to the database. So to connect this front end and back end, it is using the APIs. So all the APIs development is carried through the company called TIPCO Softwares, which is completely focused upon the integration. So in any form, any filtering of data, matching of patterns, validation of data is carried out through these APIs.
What are the latest front end and back end? Like what is the DBMS presently being used and what is the front end being used presently for making softwares?
Sir, in present time, usually many of the software giants have actually tried to create an entire stack. So Oracle is one of the leading in terms of database.
Carries on. Okay.
In front of, with respect to front end, now many of the technologies such as Node.js, AngularJS are all written in JavaScript. So these are some of the more popular front end technologies. If we go towards the Microsoft or the Windows development, Windows has its own set of stack, which is called as some of the languages called as J#, F#. So these are some of the famous languages in terms of graphic development.
Ajay, recently there was a news that some kind of ransomware is hitting Apple software also. Okay, forget about it. You
Yes,
know it?
Say Locky bit or Locky something of that.
What is ransomware basically? What does it do? How does it attack and
So ransomware is type of a program which tries to infiltrate to your system and tries to encrypt all the data. So you are not able to access it unless you pay some ransom or an amount through using a Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies. And once you have paid, they provide you with a decryption key using which you can unlock your data.
Now here my question comes. Suppose in computer, I call it infrastructure. The softwares are there, hardware is there, and architecture is there. Some data is also protected. So what steps do you suggest for protection of data from natural calamities, external threats, also from cyber threats? What model do you adopt?
So as per my knowledge, we usually adopt a decentralized model.
Okay.
Using which, for example, many of the server centers are located at different locations, as well as the backup systems that are available are also in decentralized manner. Next is with respect to the multiple layer of firewalls that we use to prevent such attacks. So that is the second aspect of security, and third is with respect to the frequently changing the username and password is one of the best practices.
Ajay, my last question regarding parliamentary committees. One of the American President Woodrow Wilson stated that it's not far from truth to state that when Congress is in session, it is on public exhibition, and when Congress is in committee room, it is at work. So what do you interpret by this, by stating that what is their role in committee, what is their role in when they are in session, and why the committees are very important for our constitution?
So since parliamentary committees provide for a collaborative way of working, in which all the representatives from all the majority parties are the stakeholders, so they can work in their independent manner, also contribute effectively, rather than during the parliamentary session where they have to represent their party's voice. So here they might impact the functioning to some extent, as we have seen in the budget session. But when they are in the parliamentary committees, so they are more efficient, and their whatever their decisions is based on their own knowledge as well as their personal choice.
I went to your district, Nasik. Oh, I wanted to have champagne from Nasik vineyard.
Yes, sir.
I couldn't get. Why? Why you are not producing champagne in Nasik? Such a nice drink.
Sorry, sir, I'm not aware about exactly the champagne, but the Nasik wine is available.
Nasik wine is available.
Yes.
You are in charge of wineries of Nasik
Yes.
and increase the productivity. What measures will you take? You can use your ICT knowledge, information communication technology.
Sir, since my role will be to increase the production, I would like to work both on demand as well as the supply to ensure the production for the supply has to be a constant as well as increasing if I have to increase. So first will be to integrate with all the farmers who are producing different type of grapes to ensure the transportation or the logistic mechanism is in place. Here I can use technology or a dashboard which I can track the movement of goods in real time. Second thing, with respect to processing, I also have to increase my processing power if I have to increase the production. For this, if I might require certain storage mechanism because the wine requires usually a period of 6 months for having that taste. Next will be with respect to the machinery that might I require. So I might also need to import or develop such capital or the machineries. And next, if I also have a production, I also have to ensure that my goods are also sold. They are not just remain within the inventory.
Okay.
So that
You will take both supply and demand side.
Yes.
Okay, great. Let us go with ICT again for better public administration. Here we are talking about Nasik women, their health improvement. How do you go? You are asked to make an app. What are the critical inputs you will put in the app so that all the women, all the ladies, children, all females, we are only talking about females, their health is taken care. You are making an app.
So when it comes to women, for them different type of different health requirements are there with respect to the sanitary measures, with respect to the prenatal as well as postnatal treatment. So for them, if I'm creating an app, my focus will be on to ensure that the minimum distance from the hospital. So to ensure that I have all the database of all the hospitals within based on their location, I might able to provide the nearest one with all the requirement. For example, gynecology specialist. For old age women's, they might require certain help with respect to some modern medicines or some Ayurveda. So that might be one of the aspects for young girls or childs. For them, also counseling can be one of the aspects, because since they are in young age, so their menstruational education might also be helpful through that consultancy. So I might also have some videos or some online consultation mechanism in my app which they can access it.
Very good, very good. Take all best examples in Indian policing for doing better policing in your district, Jalgaon.
Yes, sir.
How will you go ahead? Well, at least a few examples from best to policing.
Sir, the recent many of the initiatives of Mumbai Police has been with respect to the traffic management. So that can be utilized also following certain reforms as recommended by the Ribeiro Committee as well as Prakash Singh judgment in terms of transferring as well as their appointment. So such can be created to ensure minimal political interference and more administrative convenience. So here that can be ensured. Also with respect to the on-ground policies, all the lower constabulary, so their working or their placements can be, a roster can be created more efficiently, so that no excess workload is on single police officer. So that can be distributed. Also with respect to women police officers, to provide them with accurate infrastructure within the police station as well as whenever they are on field. So that can be replicated.
Thank you.
Tell me about Jalgaon.
Sir, Jalgaon is one of the famous city in North Maharashtra, very much famous for banana and brinjal cultivation, also famous for milk. It is one of the aspirational districts in India. Many of the saints, for example, and poets have come from Jalgaon. So in terms of the cultivation, it is one of the leading states with respect to jawar as well as the bajra cultivation. Yes, sir.
You mentioned about two things, brinjal and banana.
Yes, sir.
GM crop can be tried in these two. What is the position? Whether the scientists are working on these lines, just like mustard, they have already in the pilot stage. BT cotton is already there. Is it possible?
So for brinjal, there is already a BT brinjal in process.
Banana?
So for banana, it is not, but it can be tried considering the diversity is maintained.
Because banana is such a crop that is subject to lot of element, and suddenly all the crop gone.
Yes, sir.
You must be knowing about the Burhanpur and all these areas.
Yes, sir.
They are very banana growing areas. So that can be tried also, just like BT cotton, to protect it.
So I'm not sure exactly about it.
Not sure about it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. What types of forest in Maharashtra? Flora and fauna, something? Tell me about the natural resources.
So with respect to the flora, like the Western Ghats, which stretch from the Western Maharashtra, northwestern to southwestern Maharashtra. So it is one of the most tropical deciduous forest in Maharashtra. Followed by we have some forest in the central region, which is more of a combination of tropical grasslands as well as dry deciduous forest, which is found in Ahmednagar, Pune, Satara and Solapur district. While when we come to Vidarbha region, the Botha forest in Akola and Amravati, it is famous for the reindeers as well as the leopards. Also, Nasik district specifically is more famous for leopards. Also, there has been the recent increasing cases of man-animal conflict in Nasik as well. So,
and dominating tree species naturally growing in these areas, Paratwada and all these areas, central Maharashtra. Vidarbha? Just one I wanted from you. By your observation, you must have been seen it in your.
So tea. Sorry, sir.
Tea.
I'm not.
No, you are right. Why you are hesitant about it? Teak is such an important. It's very famous in Maharashtra. Teak.
Sir, teak is there.
Teak is there. Their
Also,
associates are there.
yes, sir.
Saza is there. There are so many important, valuable. Okay. You are a computer engineer. Whether your knowledge can be applied for causing the groundwater depletion, because it is a big issue in Maharashtra.
Yes,
Most
sir.
of the areas are getting dried, and we don't know. Manually, it can be tried by a survey. What is the water table? What is the your contamination level and all these things? Whether your knowledge can be utilized, something digital type things, digital survey.
Definitely, sir. Such exercise can be carried out. For this, we'll require some of. We can harness some
Had
of
it
the.
been tried in India by the ministry?
So
Water
Ministry of Jal
resource?
Shakti had carried out one pilot project. I'm not exactly sure on which region, but using certain technologies such as IoT, we can use certain sensors to ensure the present water level, and based on certain digital water meters, how much daily water has been extracted can be ensured and monitored on daily basis to have a certain percentage of what is the present water level and what needs to be done. Also, in terms of rainwater harvesting, if we are utilizing certain weather forecasting systems, so in advance we can prepare and ensure that such water is again filtered out and then put into the ground.
What blockchain technology can be used in administration? Had it been tried in your state by some district magistrate? Any idea?
So I'm not exactly sure, but it can be used more specifically in education, where to avoid any fraud or fake certificates. Here we can use the blockchain technology. Also with respect to the medical data, whenever the patient's data should not be tampered or more protected, here the blockchain technology can be harnessed, followed by with respect to providing certain benefits or reducing the redundancy.
Okay. My last question is: have you followed union budget?
Yes, sir, I have.
2-3 important points, highlights you can say, or salient features which was never discussed earlier in budgets and all this.
Sir, the more focus was given on the railway budget. And it was probably one of the largest budget
How much
which
it
focus
was?
on more capital expenditure.
How much budget was allotted for railways?
Sir, 2.4 lakh crores. Next was with respect to the rationalization of Manrega funds.
2.4, 2.40.
2.40 lakh.
Okay.
Sorry.
What is the difference in a public administration and business management? Is there any difference? Or you are part apart?
Yes, sir. There is difference more in theoretical manner, where the business administration focus more on the private aspects or of an administration. Although it has been a subset of public administration, considering in the present times there has been no strict boundaries. So public administration encompasses all the aspects whenever there is a part of any policy. So in my opinion, the public administration focus more on policy administration to ensure.
Are there some legal restraint or political interference with the public administration? Is not a difference?
Yes, sir. There is a difference when it comes to the policy framing. It has been assigned the role for the legislature, but when it comes to the implementation, the executives or the administrators have been interested with such.
That's true. What is rule of law, Gaurav?
So the rule of law provides for that everyone should be treated equally and the unequals should be treated unequally.
So everybody is equal before the law.
So those who are situated equal should be treated equally, while those who are unequal should be treated unequally.
In this context, can you say Pakistan is a rule of law state?
So, although there have been certain the administration, when we come talk about the administration of Pakistan, they have their judiciary in place to for such implementation of rule of law. But there have been skewed, because we cannot be 100% sure that all have been treated
So
equally.
what we can say, Pakistan is not is an unruly state. It's not a rule of a state. Recently, what happened with the Sri Lankan man, and then after that, the Chinese engineer.
Yes, sir, there are human rights violation, and we can say that it has been.
Not only the human rights, not equal before the law, because there are Sharia laws, Sharia courts. So one is, among the equals, one is first.
So yes, sir, we can say that.
Okay. Then what is globalization we talk about? You are a public administration. What is globalization? Means of the globalization.
So globalization, the term has been emerged where it refers to integration or the movement of human capital, the goods, as well as the technology to create a global village. So the aim is to ensure there is a free movement of all three stakeholders. Also to ensure that the best practices around the globes are implemented in the other regions who are not developed, and collectively everyone develops. So that has been the aspect of globalization.
Okay, let us come on the Maharashtra. What is Samriddhi corridor and how it is beneficial to the Maharashtra?
So the Samruddhi highway or the corridor that was created connects the western part of Maharashtra to the eastern, from the Thane district to Nagpur district, which flows to 10 district. The aim is to increase the trade, provide for better infrastructure in terms of movement of people as well as goods. So the aim is also to...
How many important cities it is, passing through? And what is the advantage? You come from Nasik area. What is the advantage of Nasik to this project?
So it passes to 10 districts. So major cities...
The advantage of the Nasik districts, main advantage, because it is known as a winery capital of India.
So it will ensure the logistics could carry out in a more efficient manner. They could connect it and to reduce the time of transportation. Second is with respect to the other employment generation. So the people or the villages...
Naturally, everywhere it will create. Okay, my last question to you about your hobby. You are playing badminton.
Yes.
Can you tell me what is the standard of feather in a badminton shuttlecock? Number of feathers.
So these are made of geese, and
that has made up, but there is a certain number of this.
So 20 to 24 is...
I don't think it's very high. I think it is 14 to 16 has been recommended. Are you sure? Okay, tell me what is the weight of the shuttlecock, standard weight of the shuttlecock.
So it as per my knowledge, it should be not more than 40 grams.
40 grams.
Or from 30. I'm not sure. I'll check up.
Sir.
You were talking about application of blockchain
Yes, sir.
in various functions of society.
Yes, sir.
Now you're a public administration student. You see, the societies, they work through a very complex web of transactions. Isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Because whenever you do something, you indulge in a transaction.
Yes, sir.
Yeah? And a public administrator's role is how to make sure that those transactions are as per the law.
Yes, sir.
They conform to the standards which the society has decided for those transactions. Yes?
Yes, sir.
And most of the time, the administration is not able to validate the transaction.
Yes, sir.
And that results in cost and inefficiency.
Yes, sir.
Now tell me, how would you apply blockchain in overcoming the inefficiency and lack of validation, which means the trust part? How can you apply blockchain?
So as you mentioned with respect to the two aspects, the validation. So here the blockchain can help in ensuring that the data is validated, because since it's a decentralized ledger, So any transaction cannot be verified unless it is reflected in all the other nodes. So here the government can ensure that they have that.
So basically, you democratize the
data.
system of validation.
Yes, sir.
Data and validation both. Because every party connected with the transaction will know that the transaction is taking place and will either reject it or validate it.
Yes, sir.
And you will know whether the transaction has been validated by the stakeholders or not.
So it will not be publicly available because
No, you can have the closed blockchain,
yes,
but if you're a stakeholder, you will have access to that information.
yes, sir. But yes, sir. But it will also provide the security aspect because
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
I won't be able to change it unilaterally.
you will not be able to change it.
And
Yes.
with respect to trust, since a government has been the major role in it, so people will have that faith that the data is protected
Protected. A, it's protected. B, it has been validated by the stakeholders.
by the stakeholders.
Hmm?
Yes, sir.
All right. Another question which you were answering, the rule of law part.
Yes, sir.
There is a rule of law, then there's a process called natural justice. Now tell me, are the laws always equal, or the laws themselves can be unequal? Because you were answering this question on Sharia and whether it violates the rule of law or not. Are the rules always equal?
No, sir. Rules
The rules can be unequal.
unequal. Yes, sir.
So the rule of law is that the law as it exists will have to be applied without bias.
Yes, sir.
That is the rule of law.
Yes, sir.
Now, if the rule provides inequality in itself, then that inequality will remain as part of the rule of law.
So I beg to differ because
No, for example, when we do affirmative action,
yes, sir.
for example, women in Delhi travel free of ticket in buses, but I don't. So the law is unequal.
No, sir, because
So as long as the unequal law is applied equally,
yes, sir.
it is a rule of law.
Yes, sir.
You get my point?
Yes, sir.
Now I cannot go and sit in the parliament because there is a law which is unequal. It says some people are eligible to sit, but some people are not eligible to sit. It's unequal. I can't go and say I'm an Indian citizen, I want to sit here. They will say no, because the law doesn't permit. It's unequal. But since the law is unequal, its application is fairly done. So it's rule of law. So when I am denied access to parliament because the law is unequal, it doesn't mean that they are violating the rule of law. Because the law is like that.
Yes, sir.
I'm trying to clarify your mind.
Yes, sir.
Rule of law doesn't mean that all the rules will have to be equal. The laws may not be equal.
Yes.
And if the laws are not equal, they will not be applied equally.
Yes, sir.
So unequal application of an unequal law will also be as per rule of law.
Rule of law. Yes, sir.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
All right. Now, last question. You have heard about this Sudan crisis.
Yes, sir.
Now, Sudan is a very small country, not really one of the major powers. Why is Sudan important? What is Sudan's importance to the big powers and everyone? What's so critical about Sudan? Let them fight.
So considering the geopolitical location of the Sudan,
What is that?
so since it is located in Africa,
So Africa, a lot of other countries are also fighting.
yes, sir. But considering the presence, also it has been in news.
Being in Africa in itself would not make it more important than others. What is so important about Sudan that everybody is worried?
Sorry, sir, I have to look into it.
No problem. Have you heard about Red Sea?
Yes, sir.
Is Sudan on the Red Sea?
Yes, sir. Not
What are the other countries on the Red Sea?
so Somalia.
Why is Red Sea important? Forget about Sudan now.
So the movement of crude oil that happens, or the trade that
Only
happens.
crude?
So the Suez Canal that we
No,
have.
only crude?
No, so the other trade as well. So the entire trade actually, which passes through Europe.
Yes. In fact, between Indian Ocean and Atlantic
Atlantic
Ocean,
Ocean.
the largest channel used for trade is Suez Canal.
And any instability in that region might impact that trade as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, because this is a choke point.
Yes.
It's a choke point for both for Indian Ocean this side and the Atlantic on the other.
That's it.
That is why everybody is worried.
Yes, sir.
All right. We stop here.